Okay, we're recording. It's the Gotta Go Godzilla Podcast all over again with Shadow Fox, Alchemist, and Zed. And of course, the Monster of the Week,
Yes.
where everyone else heard the role, but you
Nah,
guys,
it's
I
totally
gave you the recording this time, so not to make that
okay.
same
Okay,
mistake.
wait. Okay, wait. I get this. So it's an early monster, right?
Yes. Well, yes, we're still in the early period of all the movies.
So that's oh my God! It's King Ghidorah.
You got it right.
Ah,
Okay.
how did? Oh God, that was driving me crazy. That's right. That is what it sounded like, isn't it?
So I believe you was right that because if I'm not mistaken, I believe they use the same instrument to make Rodan and Mothras. So that's why you were thinking those two as well.
Yeah, probably, but still, like, right. That's what he sounded like. What was up with that? Like, in the later movies, he roars, right?
Um,
Does he?
maybe in Legendary, it's Legendary you're thinking of.
Did he roar? He always made the other noise, didn't he?
Yeah, he made that noise and show it. Maybe
What about the one where he got the like metal head?
Metalhead and stuff.
Did he make the same
Yeah,
noise?
he rolled in that one too.
Okay, all right. So I'm not
As I
completely
play them
crazy.
in my ears, and I hear a deafening roar.
Okay, so I'm not completely crazy.
No, you're not completely crazy. That iconic role from since we're in the Showa era, that one was produced with Electune, electronic organ. In the Heisei era, it's closer to Rodan, which is more dragon-like, and then close in Legendary, it's straight up. It sounds like a giant monster at that point. I think
Got
they say
okay.
they use a Rex of some type, some type of dinosaur, imitation of a dinosaur roll almost.
All right.
We'll get
Well,
to that when we get to legendaries.
Hey, I'm just glad I got it. That was driving me nuts.
But we are now, I believe we oh yeah, this one marks a big one because this is the first alien monster of the Godzilla franchise.
Ooh.
He's also the first real big bad that I think we covered because we did Anguirus for the first one, we did King Kong for the second one, and then we did Mothra for the third one. And while they all technically was villains against Godzilla, they all often yeah, this is killing. He's the first major villain that we're covering now because Anguirus become an ally to Godzilla. Mothra becomes an ally to Godzilla. King Kong, granted in the legendary time period, becomes an ally to Godzilla. King Ghidorah is the only one who's always a villain to Godzilla. I would argue possibly Godzilla's number one rival.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless you're counting Mechagodzilla,
And
which
that's the other one I was thinking of. I'm like, the only other major rival would be Mecha Godzilla.
and like that's a hard one to count because he's a machine.
Yeah,
Well, except for that weird Kiru thing, which I'm still calling BS on the science behind.
we'll get to that science soon enough. But with King Ghidorah, he has got so many nicknames. Monster Zero, Venus Hellfire, Demon of the Galaxy, Demon of Planet X, Space Monster, Emperor of the Cosmos, Space Super Monster. I think that was just a direct translation from Japan. And the Evil Companion. Another translation, I believe, just straight from Japan.
There you go.
Uh,
Didn't he have his own movie, Invasion of the Astro Monster?
oh,
Okay.
we'll get to that too. That wasn't his only movie. He's had two movies at least that was his own movies.
Okay, was Godzilla in Invasion of the Astro
Yes,
Monster
he
though?
was. Oh
Okay, so
yeah,
I
no,
never saw it.
I'm gonna cover Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, which was his first movie, 1964. Invasion of the Astro Monster, 1965. Which was a direct sequel to Ghidorah. And then Destroy All Monster, 1968. And then one final time, Godzilla vs. Gigan as a evil companion, 1972.
I think except the last one, I actually haven't seen any of those movies.
Oh, you never seen. So you never
No,
seen Astro Monster or Ghidorah or any of
no,
them?
because it was on Max for a while, but the problem was it was all subtitled, so I can't work while doing that.
Ah, okay. Because yeah, they're still all on Max. Because I just that's where I grabbed a lot of my screenshot from. Um, to get into some of the nitty big boring detail of the stats, we have got him sitting at a height of 100 meters. So he is literally double the height of Godzilla, who's sit at 50 meters. He with his wingspan 150 meters, and his weight is 30,000 metric ton, which is 10,000 metric ton heavier than Godzilla. So he literally is out of Godzilla weight class and
Yeah,
height.
Godzilla throws him around.
Yes.
Damn.
So
Kid, how strong is that thing?
which one? Godzilla or
Godzilla.
pretty strong.
I mean, damn.
He's gigantic. Like I made that. I mean, to be fair, if I was to scale the little vector image I have of King Ghidorah, it would be double the size of Godzilla right now. It would take up most of the screen. So I'm like, yeah, leave it
Yeah,
at
better
this.
not do that.
And you can also see some of the stats because that I'm using again the Godzilla compendium, which does have stats not only from the Showa, which is the first one, but the new, which is the Heisei era. So little sneak peek through the Heisei era. One other thing I did want to throw up there, just because this is one of the few times where, as I'm doing research for the stats, I get information from the Japanese books. There was one of these for Mothra, one of these for Anguirus. I didn't really post them because there wasn't that much to them. It's a giant moth, giant dinosaur. You know what's in on their inside. Just scale them up. Maybe add one extra compartment for Mothra's silk thing. But other than that, everything's pretty intuitive. With King Ghidorah, apparently yeah, oh yeah, he do have 3 brains.
Are
Go
they all
figure.
in his head?
Yes.
Okay,
Each,
I
each
wasn't
head got their own
sure.
brain.
Like, this looks like that weird cybernetic biocomputer thing the Red Ranger fought in a Power Rangers
I
episode.
mean, that's part of the reason I wanted to put them because he looks so weird from the inside when you really take a step back to look at him. A lot of those organs, like I think the yellow thing in the left hand corner is gonna be his what he used to make his beam attack. Again, reading the Japanese, I thought I really considered posting some of the Google translated images, but it was so butchered. I'm like, no, this is just real broken English at this point. So,
Yeah, probably a good call.
but for some of his
Is his
abilities,
pelvis the shape of a dragon's face?
his pelvis,
Look at his pelvis. It looks like a dragon's head.
a little bit, kind of. I mean, is a V.
It's got nostrils.
I mean, he is a dragon. Of course he is. His species is an extraterrestrial 3-headed dragon. He's based upon Yamato no Orochi, the 8-headed mythological Japanese serpent.
That makes sense.
Which I completely forgot, is also a Toho monster. They did their own movie about
About
um,
Orochi?
yes, 2 of them actually.
Okay.
And then
I don't
I didn't even the side tangent. They did there's I think a comic strip where Godzilla fight Yamato no Orochi.
Okay, so he doesn't he doesn't have movies where he fights them.
Not movie, but I believe there's a comic book where he fights.
Okay. I was gonna say I definitely don't remember the. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that name movie, and I think I remember if Godzilla fought an 8-headed monster.
So
I haven't seen
Yamato
all the
no
Godzilla.
Orochi, to kind of give a very fast course on Japanese mythology. Giant eight-headed snake demon. They would sacrifice a woman to him every, I think, year or something like that. One year a warrior by the name of Susano came in, decided to end its tyranny. They got, I think, 6 or 7 of the heads drunk. Um, and then Susano managed to come in and essentially slay it while it was drunk. I'm really surmise it because it's been a very long time since I actually looked up that myth. But that's kind of the long short of it. Essentially, is 8 heads. They get them all drunk, and then the guy cut off each head, if memory serves correctly. I may be butchering it.
So the moral of the story is
Hang on.
don't be a brave warrior, trick a monster into drinking, and then kill it while it's out inebriated.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I was just thinking the moral of the story is alcohol saved the day again, but yes. Unfortunately, King Ghidorah does not have such limits. It can King Ghidorah is able to fly at speeds of Mach 3 on Earth, which I actually was curious. That's 2.2 2,283 miles per hour. But apparently when it goes into space, it can fly at Mach 400. Which
Oh,
is
Well, yeah, there's no air resistance.
yes,
Yeah.
but still that's pretty fast. So 304,000 miles per hour. It also, when flying, will sometimes encase itself in a meteorite while traveling planet to planet. I didn't know this. Because I forgot in this first movie, that's how it gets to Earth. It doesn't come down to Earth. It crashes to Earth as a meteorite and then breaks out of the meteorite.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try to watch this movie.
Yeah, no, I had to watch. Oh yeah, trust me, when I get into the summary of it, it's going to be kind of wild hearing the summary of it. He's also capable of absorbing cosmic energy through his wings. That's kind of mentioned in the the book I have with the cross section right there says it. The one on the right hand side in the black and white. There's a little subtext talking about its wings. So that's part of the reason I included the images from the Japanese books, is just because a lot of the things I reference come straight from these pages, because they never do some of this stuff in the movie. You asked how strong he was, Archimage. He's capable of lifting 30,000 metric tons, so that's 66 million pounds. Because he managed to carry Anguirus, who weighs that much, around while flying around. Yet I did note, I had to put a note in here. Even though he could pick up Anguirus, who is 10,000 pounds, who is literally, I think, his weight, because King Ghidorah is also, 30,000 pounds. Tons, 30,000 metric tons. He could not lift up Godzilla, who is 10,000 metric ton less than him. I don't know whether this was because Godzilla was on his back and was grabbing him or what, but he could not fly away with Godzilla on his back. So I thought that was strange. That was a very strange thing to see in the movie. I'm like, that's weird.
Maybe he just couldn't spread his wings properly.
Possibly.
Although to be fair, with those wings, you shouldn't be able to do anything but glide. So,
exactly, but
let's leave this alone.
okay, we'll leave that one alone. We get to his iconic gravity beams, which are the yellow lightning bolts he's fired from his mouth. They go by the name either gravity beam, lightning beams, or zero gravity beams. They are equal in strength and power to a Godzilla atomic breath, capable of large-scale explosions when fired at buildings, strong enough to launch 10,000 metric ton monster into the air. And I'm referring to Mothra when it was in its lava form trying to fight King Ghidorah.
Poor little bug.
Yeah, no, it was not. It does that to him 2 times at least. Let me see what else.
Okay, wait.
Yes.
Gravity beams?
Gravity beam. I know what you're
How are
gonna
they
ask.
gravity beams?
Okay, so I looked up because they look like lightning. They look
Yeah,
just
that's
like
what I would have
lightning.
thought.
So I had to look this up multiple times, and I couldn't find like a source in Showa. Maybe I could have went a little bit deeper with Heisei and Legendary, but as far as I can tell, they function like the atomic breath. It's not till we get to other, like, I know in Godzilla Earth, they actually do lift things up into the air. But here, not, and I know I think Godzilla Final Wars, they also do that as well. But here they just kind of function like giant beam attacks. I don't know why they call them gravity. I guess maybe because they're not affected by the gravity. I have no idea for that one, Archimage. I did look for that one. That one because that had me scratching my head. I know.
Okay, well, good. It's not just me that's confused by it.
No,
Okay,
no.
good.
I looked. I deliberately took time looking for a good answer, just in show a time period of why they call them gravity beams when they look like lightning bolts. And to their credit, they do call them lightning beams in another translation. But I couldn't find anything outside the fact that they are almost as hot as Godzilla's atomic breath. So I'm like, okay, so.
Yeah, all right. Well, whatever.
He's also capable of producing hurricane force winds by flapping its wings. This is strong enough to knock Godzilla off his feet, which is no small feat in itself. He has magnetic powers because he was able to pull the meteorite towards him. And in that movie, I believe, as they one of the things that made them very alert about the meteorite was that it was giving off magnetic properties and magnetic field to it. In other incarnation, they have said that he have a protective magnetic body casing, but this is this was given in the Godzilla movie studio tour apparently, but so never seen in the movie, but I did want to mention that. Physical strength, I've already talked about. He can lift up 30,000 ton or 66 million pounds. Durability, pretty goddamn durable. Able to, here's the highest praise. He's able to go hand to hand with Godzilla and not die. So that's pretty high praise.
Technically, it's hand to head.
Yeah, head to hand. Yeah, you're right. Technically, it's hand to neck because he liked to use his necks to beat things.
Which, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it made complete sense. It's completely logical because this is Godzilla. Everything's logical here. He tend to use his durability to kind of just overwhelm his enemy, and in cases where he's outnumbered, he uses it to absorb their attack so he can just fly away and retreat. Here's where we'll get into some of the powers that from the images I had posted. Basically, at this point, he has poisonous scales. He has anti-gravity. Yes, he has. He can create poisonous gas from his mouth and his tails. He had telepathy and a bioradar that his horns act as a bioradar, so he never get lost. Oh, his horns also act as a radar, so he never get lost in space, and it allow him to communicate through telepathy. This is kind of seen in the movies. Sharp scale tails. That is able to cut other monsters. We don't see him cut monsters, but we do see his tails. And of course, we do. I mentioned that he have multiple brains.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know he had all of those powers.
When has he ever released poisonous gas?
But he has. Oh, and one last thing to mention about him. He is the first monster who we can confirm destroy the whole planet. All the other monsters, yes, have the capability to destroy Earth. King Ghidorah is the only monster, I think, in the entire Showa era who has just straight up destroyed a whole planet. So
Damn.
he is a planet killer.
All right.
He took out Venus. That's why he's called the, what was the nickname? The Venus Hellfire? Yes, the Venus Hellfire. That's why he's called that, because he wiped out the entire civilization that lived on Venus.
Damn.
So he is a planet killer. But he do have one major weakness. One glaring weakness. Any guess?
Well, probably not the 3 heads.
No, they're actually a strength because each one can act independently and fire electric beams at different targets.
Is it something to do with he's kind of out of shape?
No, actually, he's in good shape. Any monster he can take 1v1. Godzilla's the only monster on Earth who can take him 1v1. Every other monster he can pretty much take by himself 1v1. So he's in good shape.
I don't know. I was just commenting on his round figure.
Yeah.
The wings?
Not the wings. I will give you a hint with a couple of screenshots. Do you notice a common theme in each one of those images?
Let's see.
And for those watching and listening on Spotify, I put up images from all of his movies: Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla Astro Monster, Destroy All Monster, and Godzilla Ghidorah.
So wait, is he like a turtle? He has trouble getting up when he's on his chest?
No. Count how many people how many monsters are in each one of those images.
3.
Well,
not all the time.
And count how many times. How many of him do you see?
1.
So,
Exactly.
So his weakness is like all other things, being outnumbered.
He can't count, apparently, because apparently he doesn't understand the fact that while he may have 3 heads, he only got 1 body.
Oh. That's
He get curve stomped when other monster teams up on him.
damn.
I mean, each one of those images. Look at we got the upper left hand corner. We got Gorosaurus, Godzilla, and Anguirus just chomping and being literally just beating him down. In the next image, we got Mothra, and off screen we have Kumonga, the giant spider, putting web on top of him, on top of his lifeless carcass. And then in the bottom left hand, we got Mothra, Rodan, and Godzilla all jumping on top of him. And then in the bottom right hand corner, we got Godzilla and Anguirus literally doing a pincer maneuver on him.
So basically, his weakness is 3 and above.
Yeah. In this case, 2 and above.
Wow. Okay.
In every one of his encounters, he usually.
So his weakness is that he's incapable of addition.
Yes, precisely. He can't count, apparently. But that's actually a pretty impressive weakness. His only weakness is multiple people all attacking him at once. 1v1, he's gonna probably take everyone on, but maybe Godzilla.
All right. Well, shit.
But in every Showa era movie, he's always only been defeated when it's been Godzilla plus at least one other monster. In his first movie, it was Godzilla, Rodan, and Mothra who beat him. In his second movie, it was Godzilla and Rodan who beat him. In the third movie, Destroy All Monster, he tried to fight 7 monsters at once. Godzilla, Manila, Rodan, Mothra, Anguirus, Kumongo, and Gorosaurus. Needless to say, that did not go his way.
I'm going to say he lasted about 5 minutes.
No, he actually lasted pretty long. All things considered. Because
Okay.
what happened was they
He's
did
definitely
come at him
ambitious.
they made the mistake most movie fights make. They came at him at waves initially.
Oh, okay.
But then you see the picture in the upper left-hand corner where there's 3 of them on him. That's when they realize, oh, okay, we just got gang up. One of us for each of the heads. That's how we gotta do this.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm facing multiple people. They almost never try to go one at a time.
Well,
Like just from like real life.
in the defense of the monsters, they just got over being mind controlled, so they probably was a little bit droggy. And the other defense of the monster, they typically do try to kill each other most of the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it probably was a little bit of, are we working? Oh, okay, we're working together this time. Okay.
So it's more of okay. It's more of okay. We kill the 3-headed jackass, then we go back to killing each other. Deal.
I will also, I do want to throw out this other weakness of his that I think he has, and that is he tend to get mind control a lot. I don't think he's the most mind control monster, but pretty high up there because he's been mind controlled by 3 different aliens.
Huh.
Yeah, and I'll throw that up there.
Oh, you think it'd be difficult to control an alien for aliens to control a 3-headed monster? Oh, the cockroach.
So we got the Zillions from Planet X, just beyond Jupiter. Where beyond Jupiter? Don't fucking ask. Just somewhere beyond Jupiter.
Okay.
Right.
They're the one. If you're looking on YouTube, they are the one with the giant. I guess that's a visor on their face with a little antenna on their head, wearing all black and gray. Then we have the Kilax from Planet Kilak, an undiscovered planet somewhere within the asteroid belt. Is it our asteroid belt or another one? Who knows? Because they never give me location in Godzilla movies half the time. I'm assuming within our own asteroid belt. I don't know whether that's the one around Jupiter or the one around Uranus or Neptune or name any other thing in the Milky Way, but okay. They are the one wearing the silver, that look all female. And of course, we can't forget the M Space Hunter Nebula alien, also called Nebulans, aka space cockroaches.
The bloody cockroaches.
Oh, and they
Find
all
their home.
yeah.
Send Ghidorah to their planet and get rid of it.
They took control. Well, surprisingly enough, they possibly had the most, I wouldn't say purest intention, but better intention than the other. The Zillions straight up came to Earth to conquer it. And so it's your typical, they came in flying saucers to conquer the Earth. The Kiliaks, exact same thing. They came to Earth to conquer it. The M Space Hunter Nebula aliens, the Nebulans, they actually came to Earth to save Earth from humanity. By wiping out all of humanity, they were going to actually take care of the environment of Earth. Because they screwed up their environment with pollution and technology.
Wait.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So give me a second. Your defense for the cockroach people is that they're hippies.
They are hippies.
Okay, now
I see no
even
defense.
more. There's no defense. Kill them all.
Here's the killing part. As I was looking up more about the Nebulans, they actually had a comic book picture of one of them. I'll see if I can grab it. They look like a hippie in the comic. Like because it's a comic book, they can actually show them as more than just a giant cockroach because they got a little bit more, they got a little bit more leeway with the art style. And it was just funny enough. I'm like, man, they really do look like a bug hippie now. And Aquaman is probably going to hit upon that really hard. Let me throw that up there. This would be a little side tangent.
No, it just makes sense. Hippies and cockroaches.
This is from the comic book. I haven't had a chance to read the comic book yet.
A rippy.
A rippy. Wow, that's a new one.
Or a hoach.
Oh, a whole joke. That sounds dirty.
Hmm.
But we'll get into a little summarization of the movie.
Well, we can call them their ultimate destiny. Gunk on the bottom of my shoe.
Not too far off.
Yeah, damn right.
I mean, that's how the movie ends, essentially. But we'll get into the movies that Ghidorah showed up in. So, Ghidorah is technically 1,000-year old. In Ghidorah, the Three-Headed Monster, 1964, 1,000 years ago, King Ghidorah attacked the planet Venus, completely wiped out an advanced civilization, and rendered Venus as uninhabitable wasteland. I'm wondering if Venus was apparently livable, being that close to the sun, but apparently it was.
Interesting take.
Oh, here's where it get crazy. The few Venetians, I guess is how you would pronounce that.
Venetians, I guess.
Venetians. They survived King Ghidorah, fled to Earth, interbred with the humans, and gradually forgot that they were even from the planet Venus.
I could see that.
Present day come along, shower hit the Earth, and one giant meteor crashed into Japan. A scientific team goes to research it, and they notice a magnetic field around it that keep fluctuating in strength. After a few days, the meteorite is actually getting larger. And during that same time, there's a little subplot with a princess from a random unknown European country that have Japanese people in it.
Makes sense.
Ignore
Yeah,
it.
it's fine. It's fine.
It's gonna be hilarious when you actually see what they look, because they dress like old-fashioned European. I'm talking with the William Shakespeare neck ring around their neck, but they're all Japanese.
Oh, Victoria.
God.
Yes.
Wait, when is this period?
No,
What
this
it
is
supposed to
modern
be?
day, but this
Oh, for
country
heaven's sake.
still have that
They
type
never
of
left the
outfit on.
Victorian era.
Exactly. Yet they have their own private jet line for the princess to fly on, because there's a
course
princess
they
of the
do.
country. C suddenly remembered that C had Venetian blood in her, and C tap into her alien-like powers of telepathy and stuff, and
Of course
pretty much
they
get a
have
whole nother
telepathy.
personality. There's a giant subplot of people trying to assassinate her because of political reasons. C managed to survive it, but the reason I'm explaining all of that is because C basically prophesies that Rodan and Godzilla are going to show up and start attacking, and the planet will be destroyed by a monster called King Ghidorah. See, basically, apparently people from the planet Venus have the ability of telepathy and foresight. They can apparently see into the future, but they can't see that giant three-headed monster was going to destroy their planet. But okay, that's beside
I was
the
about
point.
to say, but they couldn't predict their own destruction.
I think of those aliens from Dragon Ball Z that Goku's father wiped out. They could see into the future, but they couldn't see that he was
But they
going
couldn't
to...
see the Saiyans coming. Okay.
Well, to be fair, they said they could see it coming, yet they could do nothing to stop them. I think it was the same situation here.
It sounds like
Okay.
laziness to me.
It is laziness to me.
I
but
completely agree. They could have just left.
It's an advanced civilization.
Especially in the DBZ situation. The Saiyans just wanted the planet. They didn't care about the aliens on it.
Yeah, it seemed like King Ghidorah is probably going in a straight line of planets to destroy, so it probably would just went to the next planet, and so on.
Oh, so it destroyed Mercury first.
I don't know. Zed, I was trying to figure that out, because I know they only mentioned Venus. So, I can only assume that, I mean, how long would it take? I guess maybe it would take 1,000 years to make it from Venus to Earth again, going 400 Mach speed to get there, so maybe. But eventually everything she said comes true. Godzilla and Rodan shows up. They start to fight each other, cause, well, why not? And Mothra is brought into the equation because the fairies just happen to be in town. doing a diplomatic visit.
Of course they are.
Of course they are,
Okay.
because remember from the last movie they were taken captive. Now they're doing diplomatic tours because from Infant Island, and they meet with the woman from Venus because he apparently saved them. They were about to take a boat that was going to be hit by Godzilla, and they when they find out the situation, they decide to reach out to Mothra to get Mothra to assist because King Ghidorah is going to be a threat to the entire planet. Infant Island's on that planet, and Mothra is still at this point a lava. It's not in its moth form. Even if it was in its moth form, I don't think it would have been able to even stand a ghost of a chance against King Ghidorah. But
Oh, really? A giant bug versus a three-headed dragon? You have doubts?
yeah, I have doubts. I'm a hype man for Mothra, but even I have my doubts. So Mothra shows up, managed to stop Godzilla and Rodan from fighting each other. Well, no, Mothra tried to convince them, and they wouldn't listen. And Mothra kind of shamed them by saying, well, if you won't fight, I'll do it myself. And eventually, Godzilla and Rodan decide to get in on it. And it's all three of them against King Ghidorah. And needless to say, King Ghidorah cannot withstand three monsters all attacking them at once. And that's pretty much the entirety of the movie. And of course, the Venus subplot with the woman, the alien half of her disappears, but that's all white noise.
Oh god, I just realized that's Japan's version of the power of friendship.
You know what? Here's the killing part. Mothra, Zed, do you remember when Pikachu rode on top of Pidgeotto's back? Pidgeot back, I think.
What in the context of what?
Just the Pokemon TV series.
I mean, I don't remember it riding on Pidgeot's back. I remember when Ash made him strike him and his Swellow with lightning and gave them gold armor.
I vaguely recall one situation where he rode on top of Pidgeot.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he rode on top of Pidgeot's
In
back.
this
That sounds like some stupidity Ash would make him do.
Here we have Mothra get onto Rodan's back and it flies around.
Why?
So he could shoot the silk at King Ghidorah to slow him down.
Was this when Mothra was still a larva?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
That makes a lot more sense.
Oh, that makes more
now.
sense. Okay.
Well, because normally it has wings.
Okay, then we'll move on to the sequel movie, which is Godzilla. No, it's the It is Invasion of the Astro Monster. I really do like that title. I think that's a very good sci-fi cheesy title.
That was the sequel.
Yes. So, the first one was called Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. That was the first one. The Invasion, I thought the same thing, Archimage, because I saw them out of order. I originally saw the Invasion of the Astro Monster before seeing Ghidorah. But Invasion of the Astro Monster is the sequel.
Okay. Good to know.
In this one,
Why is there an image of Godzilla taking a kung fu stance?
because that is Godzilla's victories dance.
Oh, is that where he
What?
does that weird meme thing?
That's the first movie. That is the movie where he does his weird meme happy dance.
Okay.
I had to include it just for that reason.
Okay.
I understand that.
In this one, we have two astronauts go to a newly discovered planet, Planet X. They encounter an intelligent technological alien known as the Zillions. The Zillions explain that the people are constantly terrorized by a monster that they call Monster Zero. And it's revealed that that monster is King Ghidorah and is attacking the planet. So they ask that they can borrow Godzilla and Rodan, so that they can, because they originally Godzilla and Rodan defeated King Ghidorah, and they would like to use them to defeat him now again on Planet X, and they agreed to it. So the Zillions
Makes
come in.
perfect sense.
Hmm?
Makes perfect sense.
Well, I mean, the astronaut don't trust them because they're like, okay, one, how do you know, how do you know that Godzilla and Rodan beat King Ghidorah? Have you been watching us? Clearly you have. And then two, how do you know where to find Godzilla and Rodan? Because they've been hidden since the last movie. And it's like, okay, so you've been watching us even more detail that you can find monsters. So they're like, yeah, we really don't trust you people right now. But the Zillions gave up a really huge reward. They said they would give humanity the cure to all the diseases, starting with cancer.
Well, damn. Okay.
So they offer not only to take Godzilla and Rodan from Earth, who at this point Godzilla and Rodan was seen as more villains than heroes, but
Oh, really? The giant monsters are seen more as villains than heroes? Who would have guessed?
Mothra. They don't see Mothra as a villain at this point.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you can beat it with a
That's
can
because
of
Mothra stays on its island and sleeps all day.
True, but the first time Mothra appeared, it was pretty much unstoppable. They could not kill it with any weapons.
bug spray.
Okay. Anyway, the Zillions bring Godzilla and Rodan to Planet X. We get a fight between King Ghidorah, Rodan, and Godzilla, and of course they manage to beat King Ghidorah and drive him away. And we see Godzilla do his happy jump dance. And then the astronaut get their reward, and they leave the planet. And they leave Godzilla and Rodan there on the planet. And as they get back to Earth, they're listening to the message about the cure to cancer. And of course it says, we're going to conquer the planet, surrender now. Otherwise we'll release Godzilla, King Ghidorah, and Rodan onto you to attack you. So surprise, they was controlling King Ghidorah all this time to trick humanity into letting them take Godzilla and Rodan since they were the only monsters that could stop them. So now they have all three powerful monsters that they release upon Earth to try to conquer it if humanity doesn't surrender to them. We have a giant love interest, side tangent. Eventually, humanity managed to free Godzilla and Rodan from the control of the monsters, and they immediately get to work overpowering King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah hightails it out of there. The Zillions are defeated, and their invasion of Earth is stopped thanks to Godzilla and Rodan. And that's pretty much the whole movie.
So, how exactly did they control King Ghidorah, or is that just nonsense science that's never explained?
Alien mind control radio waves.
Okay, it's science nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. Just
Complete
making sure.
science nonsense. Oh, Alchemist, we got what? If you have you seen Invasion? Oh, have you not seen that one? Invasion of the Astro Monster.
Sorry, one more time.
Have you seen Invasion of the Astro Monster?
Nope.
The Astro Monster.
Yeah, the one we just talked about.
Yeah. No. You just went very robotic
Okay,
for us.
so
You're
I'm
coming in
going-
good now.
I'm coming in clear
So
now
we're
for you
gonna
guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you seen Invasion of the Astro Monster? Sorry about it.
No, have not.
No.
Okay, in that case, we gotta watch that one next time we get together, just because of the fact the pseudoscience they use to defeat the alien is just, I can tell it's gonna make you two cringe a little bit.
Hooray.
It's good. I'm talking looking at radio waves. I'm talking.
Is it on the level of I need a hairpin, a toothpick, and a stick of gum in order to defuse 5 bombs?
No. They do make it look like they're using sci-fi technology, but the logic for the science just seem a little bit strange. And the way they defeat. But I will put it on this level. If you've ever seen the Twilight Zone episode where this one guy who tells lies saved the Earth from the alien invasion with a harmonica because they can't sound the noise from it. it's on that level of how they found the weakness of the alien.
Okay.
Good to know.
Then we have Destroy All Monster, 1968. Again, humanity is they are going up into space, getting into all types of shenanigans. They encounter the Kiliaks, and they use and basically the Kiliaks decide to take over not just two monsters like the Zillions. They gotta go bigger. They take over all the monsters on Monster Island. At this point, they have gathered all the monsters on the Earth onto Monster Island in one nice little spot for the Kiliaks to come in and mind control all of them, including Mothra. Um, and at this point, they release all the monsters to attack every major city on the planet. Um, but eventually, what happened is, again, more human shenanigans. You get them ultimately finding a way to release the whole on all of the monsters. I think it's also more science mumbo jumbo, if memory serves correctly. And this is where you get the giant all out drag out fight between this is where you kind of get that image I showed previously with the weaknesses, where you get all of the monsters ganging up on King Ghidorah, because Ghidorah was the only monster that they really wasn't well, no, they was mind controlling him too. He was the only it took me a second to realize they all gang up on King Ghidorah, because I think they realized King Ghidorah was the only monster there that wasn't from the planet. Because looking
Oh,
back on it, I couldn't figure out why they all ganged up on King Ghidorah when he was under mind control like the rest of them. But then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, if this is supposed to be a sequel to the, because I don't know if this is supposed to be a sequel or if this is its own standalone movie. I always took it as its own standalone movie because Mothra wasn't on its own island. It was on Monster Island. But then again, I've also seen different version where Mothra is located on Monster Island with its two fairies. So tough to say if this is literally a sequel or whether this is a standalone movie. But
I mean, I would think that most Godzilla movies are technically standalone movies, aren't they? Like, there's only a few that are real sequels, right?
see, I thought that, but the more I start looking up some of these Godzilla movies, the more it start looking like they actually do flow together more than I thought they would. Like the first Godzilla movie, and Godzilla Raids Again are direct sequels. Godzilla vs. King Kong is a sequel to Raids Again. And then I would say after that is when a new arc of Godzilla started, because at that point you have Mothra, King Ghidorah, and they give no allude to King Kong. So I would say the first three movies are essentially a trilogy, and then afterward, Mothra, Ghidorah, Invasion of the Astro Monster are all their own movies as well. So that may be another thing for another episode. We gotta talk about that. That may be a good episode to talk about. Is there a continuity between all the Godzilla movie of the Showa era? But the outcome of this one is very evident. King Ghidorah dies. He does not survive this encounter.
Nice.
He's up against 7 monsters all at the same time. Yeah, they pretty much kills him. I mean, if you can't tell by some of the pictures, they curve stomp him. It's pretty much an unfair fight.
I mean, he's got 3 heads, so, unfair can be relative.
So yeah, he did put up a good fight. He did manage to beat off Anguirus. He managed to scare off some of the other monsters with his gravity beam. But yeah, once they all started working together, it was not a fair fight at that point. And when Godzilla is wiping out the Kiliak's base, the explosion of course the evil alien base blowing up caused a huge explosion. The ground do open up, a fissure occur in the earth, and the remains of King Ghidorah falls into the fissure. So you could argue maybe he did survive, and that's why he shows up in the final movie, which will be Godzilla versus Gigan. Like, as far as I can tell, this seemed to be almost, I mean, unless we assume that he somehow survived his beatdown or came back to life, or that there's more than one of him. I don't know how else to explain that he shows up in Godzilla versus Gigan.
I mean, Godzilla's died a few times too.
Not that many actually.
No, but like they never really explain why he came back.
Yeah. Yes, they do. If you're referring to the first movie, yes, they do specifically explain how he come back.
Okay,
There's two of them.
The first one, it was just another Godzilla.
Yes, the first one
There
there's
was one
another
Godzilla that we watched where he was blown to pieces, but his heart somehow survived and rebuilt.
He regenerated.
After that.
Yes.
That's some bullshit. Wasn't there one other one like
Godzilla versus Destroyer?
Like,
so
how many times has he died?
He's died in the first Godzilla movie, and
right.
They reveal in Showa era that there's two Godzillas, and that they killed the first one, but the second one came along. In Godzilla in the Heisei era, he died. He died that one time where he got blown up, but his heart still remained, so he regenerated. And then he died again in the Heisei era in Godzilla versus Destroyer. That one he straight up did die. He had a meltdown. And
where he started going all crimson.
But he had a son, and his son took up his place.
How cute.
And in I'm trying to think. In Shin Godzilla, he didn't die. He just got frozen in place. In -1, he didn't die. He just got blown up again and reduced to a heart, and he's regenerating. Legendary, he has not died. So yes, those are all the unless you're thinking Godzilla the American with Zilla. But that one's a different monster. Toho rebranded Godzilla to Zilla in that.
Yeah,
movie.
no, I'm never thinking that one.
And we'll get to him soon enough. But we got the last one, which is Godzilla versus Gigan, 1972. This one, King Ghidorah is basically an evil companion, a sidekick. This one, you have the M-Space Nebula, Hunter Nebula alien took control of King Ghidorah and the cybernetic monster Gigan. They wanted to control the two monsters from Godzilla Tower located in the World Children Land. They unleashed Gigan and King Ghidorah in Tokyo to destroy and to take over, well, to pretty much wipe out humanity so they could take it over. Fortunately, you have Godzilla and Anguirus who realize something is up, and they decide to pull a Batman and Robin and go and save the day. King Ghidorah and Gigan working together was a match for Godzilla and Anguirus. This is probably one of the few movies where Godzilla straight up get injured and bleeds. We have, I mean, if you're looking on YouTube, you easily got the picture of Godzilla at the feet of Gigan and King Ghidorah.
I remember that one.
And it was a pretty tough fight, but because the human destroyed Godzilla Tower, which was controlling the Nebulans, they severed the link over Gigan and King Ghidorah, which meant they couldn't fight well together. The only reason they were fighting well together was because they were being mind controlled. Once that mind control went away, they were just two monsters who just happened to have a grudge against Godzilla and Anguirus. But Godzilla and Anguirus are good working together, so they were able to actually work together power of friendship, and beat Gigan and King Ghidorah. This is the one argument you remember where Godzilla straight up lifts King Ghidorah and flips him, I think, 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about the fact that they had a giant tower that looked like Godzilla.
Yep.
And this is the one run by cockroach people.
Yep. There was a strange... Oh, and the day was saved by hippies.
Just lies.
This one was a strange one.
Was this the one where they talked?
Yes. This
Okay.
is also the only movie where the monsters talks.
Bloody hippies.
This was a very strange movie. I like that Zed's like, I remember this one. This is the one where they talk. This is... That was strange.
Hippies are horrible people.
But other than that, that's pretty much it. Other than some little trivia. I always said that King Ghidorah is the first alien monster to appear in the Godzilla series. He's
Yes.
also the monster that led Godzilla to begin his transition from villain to hero. He went from the terror that's going to destroy Japan every other week to savior of the earth.
And King Ghidorah pretty much stayed the same horrible jackass.
He's always the villain. He's never... I mean, look, Spider-Man got the Green Goblin, Batman got the Joker, Superman got Lex Luthor, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle have Shredder, Godzilla have King Ghidorah.
Makes sense.
King Ghidorah, he just want to be bad. He want to come to Earth. He want to destroy it. Why? Who knows? Maybe he just got a grudge against life.
I mean, I could see that.
He's often controlled by aliens. But even when he's not controlled, we know for a fact that he will destroy a planet as he did so to Venus. I also find it very amazing. He's probably the only Toho monster from the Showa era that we can confirm have destroyed a whole planet by himself. Which is impressive.
Yeah, no, I'll give him props.
But other than that, I think that was everything I had about King Ghidorah. Let me see, make sure I didn't forget anything. Nope, that was pretty much it. So,
And again, we learned an important lesson from here. That
I won't
cockroaches
hear.
and hippies are essentially the same thing.
Cockroach. Man, wait till we get to the zillions.
Okay, look. I'm sorry. That was unkind. To be fair, cockroaches do serve a point. Hippies don't.
I can't wait till we get to... I make you watch the Invasion of the Astro Monster because I want to hear what you think of the zillions. Because
Are they hippies?
No. But they all control... They are aliens that let a computer dictate their entire life.
So they're Gen Z.
Yeah, I was thinking about that more and more. I'm like, oh, geez, are we becoming them?
Gen Z already is.
No, wait. They are leagues ahead of Gen Z. Gen Z are ruled by their emotion. Zillions specifically hate emotions. They want to be as cold and emotionless as the computer that tell them what to do.
Oh, yeah, no, that is a difference. Can we trade them for Gen Z?
Thinking about it,
I'm sitting right here, right?
Okay. We keep this one and get rid of the rest of Gen Z. Deal?
I mean, they are pretty productive, and their women are all copies of each other, and the one that they copy is a beautiful copy.
Zed, are you on board with this?
Oh no, I'll sell out my generation for this. Sure.
Okay, yeah, okay, we're good. We keep this one and get rid of the rest.
I mean, they do have a lot of good technology. I mean, they just would enslave all of us.
Shadow or Fox, you don't have to sell me. I'm already sold.
I just don't like the slavery bit. That's the only thing I don't like.
Oh, we can deal with that.
Well, yeah, but me being black have a thing against going.
Okay. Well, look, they were beaten by a bunch of humans. I'm sure we can take them down easy enough.
Oh yeah, all it's gonna take is high frequency noises to take them out.
There you go. We already can do stuff like that.
So
So they have the same weakness as Viltrumites. Got it.
pretty much,
Yeah, we're good. Only they're not super strong and crazy.
No, they're not. They're relatively.
Okay.
No, I had to stop and think. Wait, no. Yes, they can be.
They're not Super Saiyans. We'll be fine.
Yes, they may be.
The
So this in the Showa era, no, they have the same weakness. Like they seem to be the same strength level as an average human. If we skip ahead to the future, to Final Wars, they have the same. I would put them on the same power scaling as a Power Ranger.
Wait, those are the same aliens?
Yes.
Huh. They upgraded.
Oh yes. And what I don't. This is killing me, Archimage, because I just finished rewatching it. They always gave a phrase that I never understood as a kid, saying we'll deal with them in the future. And then I didn't realize that it was the same aliens in Final Wars, which is years into the future for them. So they actually did try to re-deal with Earth again in the future.
Wow.
I don't know if they did that on purpose or not, but that's a real good deep cut. Yeah, they tried to deal with humanity when they got Power Rangers powers.
Okay. Different thought. Let's not have them on this planet, but offer them a bribe of half of Gen Z to get rid of them.
We'll talk about the problem. There may be a problem with that, but we'll get into the weeds. Anything else before we leave with King Ghidorah?
Look, we will keep the sensible Gen Zers. As few as there are.
Okay.
All 5 of us.
All 5
Yes,
of them? Yeah, okay.
Yes, we'll keep the 5 and get rid of the rest.
As we lose the entirety of our Gen Z audience, all 0 of them.
Shadow R Fox, Gen Z that can't listen for more than 6 seconds. We're fine.
That's true. This has been going on long.
Present company excluded.
Okay, any last honorary mention before we...
Cockroaches are more useful than hippies.
I'll throw up we kept talking about the Zillions from Planet X, and then we started talking about Gen Z. That is not lost on me.
Jed?
Any last words?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I've already betrayed several people today that don't know of my existence.
As
so.
we dog on his
There
entire
you
generation.
go.
Yes. Okay. Well,
I'd like to point out I was born in the early stages of that generation, which is why I don't fit in with them.
Okay. Well, then next time we'll get to the next monster. I don't remember. Okay, I think I know who it's going to be, but I can't remember. But we'll get to that next time in episode 5. So see you all then.
Okay, sounds good.